Sure.
Okay.
See that bottom beak now fit in nicely underneath the other one. So that's what we're aiming to do with this gremlin. If the bottom beak is a little bit too long, then it bumps into this part, the upper beak.
Oh, his eyes open.
Off to the side, like so. So as long as we make sure that that bottom jaw is lower, the bottom beak is lower than the top one, and it can potentially get under there, and he can still manipulate the food.
You're okay.
So that's all we're going to do for him today. We're in the right place. So we're taking him off oxygen, he's blinking, breathing well.
Spin around.
And I hit just a couple of little blood vessels in the bottom beak there. So what Dr. Deb was doing is just applying a little bit of silver nitrate, which is prevents bleeding, and just making sure that it doesn't bleed too much, and it's very little spots there. But essentially that was what I needed to see in order to know that I was back far enough. That and the fact that the beak was underneath of the top. What's the heart rate?
What is it?
120 beats per minute.
Is that good? Bad?
What's normal?
Normal.
It's nice and relaxed.
Nice and relaxed.
Yeah, they can go up to
A lot
100.
faster.
Now, was it a lot more dremmeling this time, Dr. Dave?
Medical grade oxygen, so we don't have to be as reliant on medical oxygen tanks coming in, so it's a cost-saving measure, and it's human grade. It does seem to take a little bit longer. I don't know if the concentration is quite as high, so that's one thing that we could have done there. And the other thing is that sevoflurane gas is a live prey test to prove to us that they can actually catch something alive. It's not a perfect test by any means, because catching mice in a bucket is not like catching mice out in the field. So generally what we do now is we just give him a few minutes to get his faculties back and everything. Once he shows that he can keep his head up and on his own, so oftentimes he's just very relaxed. The gas anesthesia that we just delivered, it's a muscle relaxant, and so everything just tends to flop down, so including his head. So once his head gets, he can kick around and look around and keep his head up in the air, then we know that he's ready to go back to his enclosure.
So what is his wingspan?
Probably about 6.5 feet.
About that. Yeah.
He's a small bird.
Okay.
He's very opinionated.
As long as you have a really good handler, and all of our rehabbers are fantastic handlers, there's very little risk.
How does she get him out of the cage? You just walk in there and say, "Come here, little bird."
Yeah, that's a ticket.
She waves up the cup at him.
No, please, just a little. I don't know if you, okay, that way I can get the whole, thank you.
We grabbed them up like these
grab their legs essentially.
You just go in the cage with
Now
them.
he was, he was on that tall back perch when I went into the very large dog. He was on that tall back perch, which made me slightly nervous to have him a little above me. And he wouldn't get off of it until I went over and figured I'll take a stab at it anyway. And then he flew towards the front, and then I went to the front, and he flew up to his high perch again, and did a little dance, and we did a little dance around, until he managed to surprise him, and grab one leg and pull him off his perch.
Well, if you can vocalize his breathing good.
Is he just vocalizing like that because he's unhappy because you've got him in here?
He's just vocalizing like that because I mean, he would do that when he was in his small sort of the dog enclosure, and then eventually into the isolation cage that's where he was living. He'd do this when he'd walk in the room. This is his way of talking to us. When he does that cackling kind of noise, that's when he's really disturbed and he's irritated at that point. Right now he's just kind of, yeah, something's going on.
It's
What's going on
sad
here?
story.
I feel good. Does he get a buzz off of that like Michael Jackson got off of his?
Different drug.
He came back, Michael did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it goes.
Okay. And when Amanda goes to put him back into his enclosure, she will not put him on a perch. She'll put him directly on the ground, so that if he is still a little bit stumbly, he's not going to fall off. And if he is a little bit stumbly, he's not going to fly up to a perch. So it's a good situation. But this is about when we would actually put him back.
And that should be a lesson for all of you. When you're feeling a little loopy, get off the bar stool and sit on the floor.
So I think we're all good.
All right, we probably need to get this show organized, take the birds up to the mountain and get them out of here while they still got daylight.
Yep.
All right.